Tell you what, guys, I'm not trying to get the channel banned or anything, but if it happens, it happens. And I found an interesting story where we can compare naturally acquired immunity to vaccine acquired immunity. Like I said, it's a very controversial topic, but I think it's good information that we should get out there. And mostly it just uses CDC sources, anyways, and real scientific studies. So I don't really see what's so controversial about this, other than natural immunity is a real fucking thing. And real actual places recognize it, except for in the United States and in Canada. And trying to put any hope out there for Canada is fucking useless in and of itself. He's got the pass, said the dad sitting across from me at the airport in Bismarck, North Dakota. Not Bismarck, Germany, Bismarck, North Dakota, where we were both stranded due to flight delays. He gestured to his 5-year-old son. Had a slight fever and tested positive for COVID. We had to keep him home from school for a couple of weeks. Then he tested negative and was good to go. I got the vaccine. My wife did too, and he can travel anywhere without any testing. And there's no vaccine for his age anyways. Not yet, but they've just been approved, my dude. Since the beginning of July in Germany, where the family lives, you can demonstrate proof of being COVID recovered and then have a subsequent negative COVID test if you're considered immune for 6 months anyways, according to the German government. Interesting. But in the United States, where the family lives, okay, so they're from Germany. Wait, what? No, they live there, but in the United States, where his family. Okay, sorry, my mistake. Reading's tough sometimes. Even those who are COVID recovered and show higher protection via either antibody or T-cell testing, all right, that's according to the CDC, by the way, are being told they also must get vaccinated. Yeah, kind of funny, isn't it? Indeed, the CDC has been actively urging Americans who have already had COVID to get the vaccine. Don't you want double coverage? No, I don't care that much. America's federal and state health officials, via mainstream media and social media, very much so, as well as on their official channels, insist that COVID vaccines offer better protection than natural immunity alone. Oh my God, let's see if that's actually the case. The CDC urges vaccination for COVID recovered. All right, the CDC statement from August sums up the official position nicely. New CDC study: vaccination offers higher protection than previous COVID-19 infections. Oh, shit. But that's from August. That's that old science, right? If you have had COVID-19 before, please still get vaccinated. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky urged the public in that release. Getting the vaccine is your best way to protect yourself and others around you, especially as more contagious Delta variant spreads around the country. What's your excuse now that case numbers and hospitalizations and deaths are lower than they have been in literal months? But okay, cool. Far more infectious than contagious. You just won't provide any of the information or any of the studies that prove that. You just continue to repeat it over and over and over again. But is it really? Good question. All right. Despite sensationalist headlines, reinfection with COVID-19 appears to be exceedingly rare. No, my breakthrough cases, and no, my reinfection. Cool. If you are unvaccinated and have had COVID, the chances of you getting it again are slim. Fuck. A preliminary report from Israel scientists, you can't believe them Jews is untrustworthy, right? Shows that out of 149,735 people in Israel with confirmed COVID-19 cases documented via positive PCR tests, asterisks where appropriate, only 154 people had evidence of a reinfection. That's about 1 in 1,000. I'll take those odds. Another study, however, suggests the chances of infection are even lower than 1 in 1,000. What? You're telling me there's something funny about the testing that's going on? I don't believe it. This is all full of medical misinformation now, isn't it? Cleveland Clinic scientists, what do they know? They're from Cleveland, who examined a cohort of 52,238 employees, found no cases of reinfection. Oh, clearly, all of those people have received the vaccine, right? Among unvaccinated people. Fuck. with evidence of prior SARS or CoV-2 whatever infection. The same study showed that vaccinated people who haven't had COVID-19 had a lower risk of infection than unvaccinated people. Still, the researchers concluded that individuals who have had SARS-CoV-2 are unlikely to benefit from COVID-19 vaccination. Interesting. And vaccines can be safely prioritized to those who have not been infected before. Cool. Sarbecovis of infections against future diseases. All right. Oh, they protect against future diseases. What are those? And I know that I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but sarbecovirus. Sarbecovis. Something like that. Benefits of naturally acquired immunity may go beyond protection against COVID. Oh my god, SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, is part of a family of viruses known as sarbecoviruses. Okay. Sarbecoviruses? I'll eventually get it right. Symptoms vary widely in different people, alright? But these viruses can create acute respiratory syndromes that usually begin with a fever and body aches, according to the CDC. Alright, cool. There have been 2 previous SARS outbreaks in 2003. Once that was over, we got a sweet concert out of it with AC/DC and the Rolling Stones. I remember that, and I don't think we're going to get that at the outset of this. If we ever end the fucking pandemic, mostly because modern music sucks a dick, have originated in China in 2002, infected about 8,098 people, and led to about 774 deaths. Doesn't that sound like a deadly fucking disease? But at least that one was easily traceable because you weren't you couldn't infect other people until you started to produce symptoms, okay? According to the very reliable and very reputable WHO. Another smaller SARS outbreak occurred in 2004. I think that was mostly within the borders of China anyways, but whatever. Both of these outbreaks were self-limiting. Humans managed to overcome the illness naturally without mass vaccination campaigns. No shit. Research on the other sarbecoviruses infections are limited, but it seems that that when we acquire natural immunity to these viruses, it helps protect us against future disease. All right. To study this, the scientists in San Francisco took blood from people who had previous COVID infections, CoV-2 or Cove Prime, alright, and assessed 12 antibodies in the blood. As reported in Nature, the California research found that one antibody in particular, S2H97, was able to bind to a range of sarbecovirus infections and keep the viruses from spreading in lab experiments. When they tested the antibody in hamsters, alright, so I guess hamsters aren't going to be getting sick on this one, it kept the rodents from getting sick. Sweet. This super antibody, what did it wear, a cape or something? Which was acquired naturally, essentially blocked SARS viruses from spreading to other cells. All right. While the research is being used to promote the idea of developing a broad-ranging vaccine, it also shows that there are a long-lasting benefit to natural infection. Viral illnesses. Natural immunity provides long-lasting protection. With other infectious diseases caused by viruses, we have seen the natural infection provides longer lasting protection than vaccine immunity. You can't be saying that. The CDC can't make money that way. For example, the 2017 study of adults in the Czech Republic published in the scientific journal PLOS1 showed that the highest protection against measles, oh good, it's a different disease, measured by antibody levels in people's blood was in people over 50 years of age were naturally infected before the implementation of the measles vaccine. Yup, that's why people get chickenpox when they're kids, for just such protection against it later in life. I know it's different than measles, but go with me. We're just talking about random viruses, okay, at this point. Other research on swine flu, published in the journal Experimental Medicine in 2011, found extraordinarily powerful antibodies in the blood of 9 people who caught the swine flu naturally and recovered from it. Though, again, the research was showcased by news reports as evidence that it may be possible to develop a one-size-fits-all vaccine against the different strains of the flu virus. What it actually demonstrates is that recovering from naturally acquired viral infections not only gives people short-term immunity against other viruses, but may also be a lasting benefit in fighting off other viral infections as well. All right, because SARS-CoV-2 is a novel virus and the vaccine to protect against it is only became available in January, it isn't scientifically possible to know the long-term protection offered by either the infection or the vaccines. No, it's been well studied and we know all about this stuff. That's why everything that's being administered right now is under the emergency authorized use exemption. So if there are in fact any long-term effects, protection included, you can't sue. As more data comes in, however, it appears that even mild infection can provide robust protection from COVID-19 infection. Sweet! A study from July evaluated 254 COVID-19 patients for up to 8 months and found durable, broad-based immune responses. And now we're finding in more studies as well, like 13 months, so that's cool. Even among COVID-recovered patients who only had mild symptoms. In recent data also suggests that natural immunity is long-lasting. A study from Finland published in September in the European Journal of Immunology found that COVID-recovered patients' protection against reinfection persists for over a year. Okay, maybe that's where we took a look at that beforehand. All right, so yet another large study from August looked at the database of 2.5 million Israelis and found that natural immunity confers longer lasting and stronger protection against infection, symptomatic disease, and hospitalization caused by the Delta variant of the COOF compared to the BNT162b2 two-dose vaccine-induced immunity. That's a mouthful. The Israeli study found that people who were vaccinated who hadn't been previously infected were 6 to 13 times more likely to get infected with COVID-19 than unvaccinated people who have already had the illness. Shucks. It's a textbook example of how natural immunity is really better than vaccination. Charlotte Thalen, what is she? She's just some kind of kook. An immunology researcher and specialist in internal medicine who is based in Stockholm, Sweden, told Science.org. Yeah, definitely based. Given the natural protection provided to people who recover from COVID, why is the CDC so eager to get every eligible American vaccinated? Even those who have recovered from natural acquired immunity? Does anybody think it's because they just want compliance and they don't really care about individual safety? Oh, okay, cool. I'm not the only one. The CDC press release references only two reports, and I'd imagine they're cherry-picked as a motherfucker. The first report showed that unvaccinated people in Kentucky, were nearly 2.5 times more likely to get reinfected with COVID compared to fully vaccinated individuals. Did you cite how many people that was? The second CDC report, co-authored by more than 40 medical doctors and public health officials, several of whom disclosed direct ties to the pharmaceutical companies manufacturing and profiting from these vaccines. No, say it ain't so. Looked at hospitalization rates of adults aged 65 and older. It concluded that among adults aged 65 to 74 years, effectiveness of full vaccination from preventing hospitalization was 96% for Pfizer BioNTech, 96% for Moderna, and 84% from Janssen's COVID-19. I wonder if that has anything to do with Johnson & Johnson, because those numbers, correlate kind of a little bit. Could be different, though. Could be different, but I'd imagine so. The second report cited by the CDC excluded hospitalized patients who had only one dose of any COVID vaccine less than 14 days prior. Okay, very interesting. It also didn't specify if those who were vaccinated or those who were unvaccinated had a history of prior infection. Very interesting as well. So that report sheds no light on whether vaccine immunity is more long-lasting than immunity from infections and offers no evidence to justify the idea that COVID-recovered patients should get vaccinated. I know, it's just like the last time that we looked through the CDC numbers, especially when it came to school mask mandates. It's like, okay, where does the most transmission happen? Does any of it have to do with the kids? No, it's just mostly between older administrators. That's about it. Anyways, the CDC didn't mention other studies that showed findings contrary to the Kentucky study. No, I'm shocked. It's unclear whether the agency reviewed those studies and found the Kentucky study to be stronger or only considered the Kentucky study in making their policy to recommend and require that the previously infected get the vaccine. Meanwhile, much of the established science supports the superiority of acquired immunity. No, you can't say that. The fact has put some people, such as Lori Lentz Marino, I bet you she can throw a sweet spiral, in a difficult position as they try to balance the consequences of not complying with the vaccine mandate against their understanding of what's in the best interest of their health. No, don't worry, it's definitely it's a choice, and it's not a mandate, because you can always just do the testing option. Vaccine-induced immunity can never be as long-lasting and as robust, as natural acquired immunity, said Lentz Marino, who taught chemistry and biology classes at Mount Hokie College in South Hadley, Massachusetts for more than 20 years. A human immune system knows what it's doing, okay? They're being incredibly successful species, and they would not be close to 8 billion people on this planet otherwise. Yeah, that kind of seems like a fairly reasonable explanation of things. It's a sad joke to think that we know better than Mother Nature. No, no, that's not what the experts say. Fact check this woman. That's bad. She shouldn't be thinking outside of the narrative. We're going in the wrong direction, and it's really arrogant to think that we can redesign our immune systems. Oh yeah, have you talked to Bill Gates? There's nothing that dude doesn't think he can't accomplish. But I just wanted to end everybody's weekend on a bit of an up note. So if you did manage to come across this video, I hope that provided just a little bit of a white pill before we dive dick first back into the insanity of the upcoming week. Hopefully it's fun. Hopefully it's good. I wish you all nothing but the best for the rest of your weekend. That rhymed and was a little bit tough to say. But with that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.